Right, perfect. Get started. First of all, thank you all for joining. This is a really very important step for UofL to move forward to improve clinical research. And one of the things that you always hear about from researchers is, oh my God, IRB is so hard. I don't know what to do. So now we do have a solution. So the Louisville Research Center have worked with other departments of UofL. We have purchased a software. It's called a ProtocolBuilder and also Informed Consent Builder. So what this won't be able to do, we have templates for different studies. You won't be able to really go in there and just fill in the blanks. And once an AI platform has been decided for you, we'll also be able to add the AI capacity. We also have Dr. Chris Cunningham, who is the Chief Operating Officer from LCTRC. Chris, you want to say a few words?
Oh, just that we've been working with Michael to develop this for the last, oh gosh, I guess about 6 months, and we're really excited to be able to roll it out and offer this as a tool for researchers.
Right. Thank you, Chris. So Michael Brown is our representative. And Michael, the stage is.
All right, thank you. And then just for questions, do you want to save them to the end, or do you want to have people ask as we go along? What do you all think?
We will save all the questions until the end.
Okay, great. I will share my screen, and we will take a look at ProtocolBuilder. And everyone can see my screen. Colleen, maybe just give me a head nod if you can see it.
Okay, yeah, see it.
All right, great. Okay, here we go. So you all can log in via SSO. I'm sure that your administrators have set up a internal landing page and links to get you to ProtocolBuilder. And then once you're inside, this is what you'll be looking at. So here at the center, you'll have your recent documents. This is a list of the 5 most recent protocols and or consent forms that you have worked on. If you click on View All or on your email address, and then on the documents in the first drop-down item, you get a full list of all the documents, your protocols, and your consents that you've been worked on or been assigned to as a writer. You can group, sort, filter all your protocols in any manner that you like with these headings here. You all as users can even run reports on your protocols by clicking this button. It'll give you all this information, plus a couple more fields like the type of protocol template you're using and some other information. And then lastly, you can folder your by types of protocols or your protocols and your consents. That will appear here. Your foldered protocols. And then lastly, just one other quick trick: once you have published a protocol, which I'll get into later, if you have a process similar protocol, you don't want to reinvent the wheel. You can easily duplicate a protocol that you've published just by clicking this button here. Okay, and then so let's go back to the home screen. So down below, you'll have some instructional text from your UofL administrators here, to give you some guidance about, what fashion they, would like you to use ProtocolBuilder and, what the next steps are for the IRB process, anything they want to convey you here. And then here in the updates, we'll roll out new information about things coming down the pike for ProtocolBuilder. And again, your administrators can roll out messages user-wide here as well. Here you'll find the featured tutorial. So what we feel is the 3 most helpful videos for you. But if you click on the help button in the top right-hand corner, you'll get a full menu of broken down into nice 2 to 3 minute little videos that show you all the functionality and the capabilities that I'm going to go over today. We have some print FAQs and resources down here as well. And then if you ever forget to do anything, or I forgot my password is always a popular request, our help desk is here, the email and the phone number right here. They're available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, based in the United States. So that's kind of, where you can find all the information about anything related to help for ProtocolBuilder. Going down on our drop down here, the second item is the reference library. Here, you're building your reference library for all the protocols that you're going to write within ProtocolBuilder. And then once you get into the writing process, I'll show you you can choose your global library or document specific. But to add new references, you can add them one by one if you like by clicking Add New. But more efficiently, you can upload references from EndNote, Mendeley, PubMed, any library that exports as or can be converted into an RIS or NBIB file. Select the file from your desktop, upload it here, and this is an additive library, obviously. 5 on Monday, 5 on Tuesday. Again, I'll just keep building your library. And I'll show you exactly how this interfaces with the writing process when we get there. And then lastly, you just have some settings that you can choose what you want to feature on your homepage. And then lastly, your profile information if you want to make any changes there. But to start a new document, you click on Start New Document, and you will type in the document name. You will have a list of protocols here that's specific to UofL. So your administrators have gone through some painstaking efforts to make all the guidance, the sample text, the tooltips throughout all these templates very specific to the HRP policies and the IRB policies and procedures for your institution. So we're looking at the general protocol builder. I don't have access to your account, but all of these will say UofL next to the templates. And again, they've been really really specified for the language that will help get it through to the IRB and the regulatory language that they feel is pertinent. So all these templates here, they're going through them, adding some from different departments, different centers as you go through. But you're going to select whatever template you would like to use for your study. And then here you can pre-populate sample text. So just to take a quick peek at a document that has a lot of sample text in it. And I'll show you this as we progress through the demo. But this is what your output's going to look like, and I'll take you through this. But this just sorry, wrong one there. This would be this one. So this one is just an example of one of our heavy sample text documents. And again, all this has been modified specific to your institution. But if you just printed out all the sample text, for a document, and didn't change anything, obviously, this is what you get. So it'll give you, some blank information for each section. The study will employ blank, randomized control trial, single arm, open label, and then obviously you go through in ProtocolBuilder and edit this for the specifics of your study. Again, this is the output. What you'll finally be outputting out of protocol in either a Word document, or I'll go through this entire document in a second. But just to give you an example of the amount of sample text that you can have pre-populated for you, or you could choose not to do that, and you can make your selections at which way you want to use your sample text as you go through working through the document. But if you click Save and Proceed, it'll give you a little summary information about what type of protocol you selected here, and then you'll start with your cover page here. So you'll fill in your cover page information, and then what you're looking on in this main screen here, corresponds to which heading you've selected over here on the left. So our cover page is front and center here because we select the cover page over here. And then down next is your document users, and this works in a fashion where it's killing two birds with one stone. So number one, you're setting up who has access to this document and what their permissions are. And number two, you're actually setting up your, if we go to the outputs, you're actually setting up your study personnel page at the same time. So here's your cover page, which we just went through in the output. And then here's what your study personnel page is going to be. And then so once a user has logged in for the first time with SSO, you'll be able to find them in the drop-down list. So just start typing in their name, and then you can add them, and you're going to select their document permissions. A document admin will be able to add, delete users, and edit any of the text within any of the sections, add, delete text. An editor will be able to do everything I just said, except remove and add users. So they'll be able to edit the text, use our commenting feature. A contributor won't be able to edit any text within the protocol, but they will be able to use the commenting feature and provide high-level comments. And then listing only is if you want someone listed on the protocol, but they don't need access to ProtocolBuilder, you don't want to give them access to ProtocolBuilder. Perhaps you have a pharmacist or a phlebotomist on the protocol that you want listed on that study personnel section, but again, you don't want to give them access to ProtocolBuilder. You use listing only. And then conversely, we have a research admin function where you can give someone actually access to the protocol, but then they won't be listed on that key personnel page. So You go through setting up all your principal investigators, some investigators, key personnel, granting them permissions, and then also, this is a tool that we recognize that research is a collaborative process, and the license isn't limited to the walls within the walls of UofL. So if you're collaborating with someone at another institution, you just have to email our help desk, let them know what the domain that is, and we add that domain, and then you can add someone by an email. You don't have to go through us. Besides letting us know that the domain has to be approved. But then, just type in their email address, their first name, their last name, select their permission, and then they'll be invited to collaborate with you on that particular protocol. So again, we allow the license to be used across institutions, for collaborative projects. The next section down will be your synopsis. And again, all of these sections. So I picked an intervention drug template just to back up a little bit. So this template here, all these numbered sections are very specific to a drug study. Again, this has been tweaked for your institution, but in general, it's going to ask you questions about blinding, unblinding, randomization, dosing, admin schedules, etc. All the templates and their numbered sections are very specific to the type of research that you selected. And then so what your synopsis will do here is these sections, non-numbered sections in the synopsis, are or can be linked to by your administrators to their numbered brothers and sisters in the actual protocol. So section 4.2, your primary objective, can be linked to the primary objective here. So anything you type in the synopsis primary objective will be reflected in 4.2 and vice versa. So, the idea is as you're writing your synopsis, it's populating these sections of the protocol for you, and then you have the consistent information in both of these sections. Or, as if you just decide to write your protocol first, then once you're done, you have a synopsis that's already been created for you. I'm going to move over to our show protocol. So that, again, that was just a peek at like a drug template protocol. This is a behavioral intervention protocol. So, you'll see that it's not asking about the drug and the packaging and the labeling and the randomization, but it's focusing on the behavioral intervention here in the numbered sections. But this has all the information complete, so I can show you all the functionality. So here you'll see these little check marks next to each section. It lets you know whether that section has been completed as a draft or saved as a draft, or if it's a gray check mark, or if it's a blue check mark, it'll be saved as complete. And then also you'll have these non-applicable selectors, these little buttons here next to wherever your administrators had decided to place them throughout the protocol. And the idea here is ProtocolBuilder is designed to be used in a fashion to bring a protocol to completion. So how you do that is you use the sample text that has been provided in that section, edit it for the specifics of your study. Or if you don't want to use the sample text, write something directly from your own brain. Or once we get it figured out with the AI assistant, this will be here for you to add some language to here and you can use our enhanced features here, which I'll show you in a second, where you can take a couple sentences, extend that text, convert it to a couple paragraphs, convert some ideas to prose, convert a long section of text to bullet points, whatever you want to enhance your writing. But the point is, you write something in here, you mark it as complete, that'll bring the section to completion. And then the other way to bring the section to completion is if there's a non-applicable selector, for secondary outcomes, for example. Not every project is going to have that. So you just click that button, that'll bring it to completion. And then if we go to our progress dashboard here, you can see that it shows you a snapshot section by section of every section and what has been brought to completion, what's still outstanding, and what needs review. We'll talk about momentarily. And the idea is, if you try to publish a protocol without completing the section or saying that it's not applicable, it's not going to let you. So, we want to get a complete IRB protocol to the IRB, to any other administrative review boards. So it's telling you to go back and let you know which sections still require some attention to bring to completion. And the idea here is that, you published version 1 of the protocol, and then, you have an amendment, down the line, what have you. ProtocolBuilder, so after you publish version 1, and then you go back, for your modification, you go into all your sections, you edit all the information that needs to be edited. Number one, it's going to start creating a versioning system for you, numbered, and then also time and date stamp it for you as well, version that is published within ProtocolBuilder. But the biggest feature here is it's automatically going to create a summary of changes for you. So again, you have version 1, you go back, you edit a number of sections within ProtocolBuilder, and you get this summary of changes that's automatically produced when you publish version 2. So any word that you've changed, removed, will be highlighted in red strike through. Anything that you've added will be highlighted in green. Anything that's been commented on will be in yellow. Again, a great tool for, obviously to keep track within the study team, and then also for HRPP, IRB, any administrative review process. You have, no one's guessing about what has been changed from version to version. It's already highlighted for you right there. And then you also have a section to add rationale for why that change was made, if you like. So again, the idea to use ProtocolBuilder is to use the publishing feature, bring all the sections to completion, writing some information, marking it as complete, or using the non-applicable selector. You get the versioning, the date, the timestamp, and most importantly, the summary of changes, which you can choose to include or not within your protocol, whatever you like, just by, again, clicking this little button here. That being said, you can always output whatever you've been working on. I like to use the example, if you're going on a plane and you just want to read what's been written, you can output anything, whatever you worked on. You can enter no information in any of the sections, click export, and you'll get just the table of contents in a Word document or a PDF, and you get that with or without track changes, or again, as I just mentioned, as a PDF. And then you can share via email, you can preview it online. But again, to get this versioning system, the summary of changes, and speaking with your administrators, they encourage you to use this in this fashion. It's just great for tracking all the changes as you move through a research protocol. Okay, so that's kind of how to use ProtocolBuilder, getting documents out of it and preparing it for the next step of the review process. Let's take a look at a writing section within ProtocolBuilder.
Sorry, Mike. From the audience, they were wondering if you can slow down your speaking a little bit. So thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
Sure. Absolutely. Okay, so now we're looking in a section of ProtocolBuilder. This is all the numbered sections here will look like this. So we opened up section 4.2, and we have this over here, section 4.2. All of your sections will look like this. Each section will come with some tool tips or guidance that your administrators have provided for you here, and you can obtain that by clicking on this little gray eye next to the number here. And then there might be some instructional text placed here. This might say there's 2 options of sample text in this section. Please choose one. So, if you click on your sample text here, you'll see, and it could have different options here. It could say insert this language if there's genetic testing involved, maybe, or insert this language if MRIs are used. So you could have multiple options for sample text in this drop-down menu. If there is an option, or if you remember when we hit pre-populate sample text, when we were creating the document, that would put all this sample text in every single one of these sections already in this text box for you. So that's what that does for you. So it's already here, so you don't have to go here and select the sample text. But again, if you didn't select that box, then you could go here and make your choice for sample text. But if you had clicked pre-populate sample text, it'll already be in this box for you, ready for you to edit for the specifics of your study. The next thing we'll look at is what we call the non-numbered sections here. So if you look at this line here, we have, let me just make this a little bigger. Or here we go. We have abbreviations, glossaries, references, footnotes, and charts. And then kind of along with this are tables and appendices. And this line of what we call non-numbered sections correspond to the non-numbered sections over here in the listing of sections here. And so how these work, we'll start with the abbreviations and the glossaries. Number one, if you click on one of these sections, the abbreviations or the glossaries, you can add them one by one just by clicking add abbreviations. Your administrators can choose to preload these for you on a per template basis. So these would already exist for each protocol template that have been created. So no need to add them one by one. So again, it's a choice about how this wants to be utilized. And then lastly, you can, as you're writing, perhaps if those were not preloaded abbreviation and glossary tables for you, or if you wanted to add one that maybe is not there. Basically, as you're writing, what you do is you highlight a word, you click on either the abbreviation or the glossary button here to choose which section you'd like it to go in, and then you type out the definition or the full term, and you click save. And once you've done that, that'll automatically put it in either your abbreviations or your glossary tables. And I'll show you again what this looks like in the output, but this is obviously auto formatted for you and in the output. So as you're writing, again, you can just click highlight a word. Let me define what approximately means, roughly. Click save. It's going to put it in the glossary for you, and then you'll have a table for you once you go to publish your document. The references. So this is, if you remember, we can add our reference library through here, and you'll see these little linked blue R's throughout the writing. If you hover over it, you'll get the title of the protocol. This works in a fashion where you put your cursor where you would like to add a reference, click on reference, select your reference from your library that you've loaded, and click insert, and that'll add another reference there. And the reason that we have these little R's here is because ProtocolBuilder is going to recognize in order of appearance where you've added a reference and automatically format that for you in the final output in either AMA or APA style, whatever has been chosen by your administrators for that specific template. So no worry about creating reference tables. Again, I'll show you what this looks like in the final output once we go through that entire document. But that's how the references work. The footnotes work pretty much in the same fashion. You'll see a little F here for footnote. So anytime you want to add a footnote, just put your cursor there, click on the footnote button, type out your footnote, and those will come out lettered in the final output. Again, where the references will come out numbered. And then we have charts and tables. Our word for chart, is basically, a picture file. So a PDF, JPEG, PNG. Anytime you would like to add a chart or a table, and I'm opening these up in separate sections so that we can, separate tabs, so that we can take a look at them. Anytime you add a chart or a table, and you add a table just by going to the table button here, selecting, the number of rows and columns you want. We added a lot of formatting tools that mimic Microsoft Word, as do all of our tools here. We tried to make it very easy and reminiscent of Microsoft Word. But anytime you add a table here or a chart, ProtocolBuilder is going to recognize which section that chart or that table was added to, and link it to you. Number one, you can click on this link and it'll take you directly there. And number two, it's automatically creating a table of tables and a table of charts for you. And then lastly, you have appendices. So if you have perhaps a survey instrument or any other ancillary document for a protocol, you can add it to that section, or you can add it just to the appendix table, to the appendix page here. And it could, doesn't have to be defined by a section, but here we added, the informed consent form to the informed consent section. And then once you go to publish your document, again, you'll get this automatically folded up for you in a nice PDF output. Again, recognizing your appendices, or order of appearance, and pointing to which section they were created in. So again, just to summarize this entire line of items here, basically, as you're writing your protocol, you're highlighting words, saying, I want that to be a glossary term if it's not already there. I want to put a reference here, a footnote, a chart. I want to add a table. ProtocolBuilder is recognizing where you've added that and automatically, documenting it for you and formatting it for you in the final output, which we'll get to in just a second. Just briefly, just to go through some of the tools here on your ribbon. You have obviously, the ability to bold, underline, undo, redo. You can link outside of a document, obviously, but also to other sections within the document, if you like, so create hyperlinks within the document. You can insert image files that, you don't want to be tracked in this chart. And then, we have a format cleaner, and we even have a little equation editor here for, your statistical writing. And so that's kind of, the summary here of these non-numbered sections. Some of the tools that we have for kind of internal routing or review, within your study team is, number one, our commenting tool. So if you click on the comments button here, this comment pane will pop out here. And if you remember, when we're setting up the document permissions, you could be an editor or a contributor. So if I'm an editor, I can do something like delete all this text. And I could also use this commenting feature. But if I'm just a contributor, I wouldn't be able to change any of this text here, but I would still be able to use, this commenting feature here. So again, contributors will be able to provide comments at a high level. Editors will be able to change anything within any of the sections. And then, you can highlight a word, a sentence, an entire paragraph, whatever you like. And ProtocolBuilder will start, creating a comment thread here where you can reply to those comments, resolve them, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to provide high-level comments on the protocol, that's a way to do it there. We also have a tool called our compare revisions tool. And how this works is in a fashion where anytime you make any change within ProtocolBuilder and you save it either as a draft or marking it as complete and saving it, anytime you do either of those, ProtocolBuilder is going to ask you, do you want to notify other users? So this could be, a great internal routing system for, whatever hierarchy of review you have within your study team. You click yes. You identify who you want to send the message to, type them a little message, and click submit. They'll get an email notification letting them know and giving them a link to the section that was revised for their review. If you click on this cautionary triangle here, which will show up once you've done that, once you've notified someone that a section needs a review, you'll get a complete list for the entire protocol of everything that's outstanding, everything that still needs review, and anything that's been resolved, which I'll show you in 1 second as we go into the needs review subfunction. So you'll get outstanding items and resolved items. Then also, when you're looking at your documents, you'll see which documents have items that still need review, that are still outstanding and need some attention before they can be brought to completion. And then lastly, if you look at your progress dashboard, you'll also get that little cautionary triangle next to the exact section that shows you where some attention is needed before that section can be brought to completion. So again, you get the cautionary triangle next to the protocol on your list of protocols. You get it next to the section, and you have this little reminder here, which again, if you click on, you get that full list of everything that is outstanding and items that have been resolved. If you click on the compare revisions tool here, or from your needs review button here, you click compare, it'll show you exactly what has been sent for review. So you'll get on the right-hand side, you have that most current item that's been sent for review, and the changes that are proposed. So I propose deleting this is a change. So you'll see that with red strike through there. And then here's my note. And you can do side-by-side comparisons of any save that's ever been done throughout the entire history of the protocol. You have a complete reversible history here. You can go to a version that you created in 2023, click revert to this version. It'll put it as a draft at the top of this list here. So anytime a save has been made, ProtocolBuilder is tracking that. So you have a complete auditable and reversible history of everything that's been done, and you can do side-by-side comparisons of either your most current draft on the left or any version that's been saved as complete. And again, those are marked by green for complete and yellow for draft in here. So you can do side-by-side comparisons of versions section by sections. You can revert to these older versions, but everything is tracked within ProtocolBuilder. This is within a version and for the life of the protocol. Again, remember, when you use the publishing feature, you get that summary of changes that's automatically produced as you move to different versions of the protocol. And then lastly here, if you click on revision history, you'll get a nice reporting format that gives you, kind of a ticket number for every revision that's been made, what actions you can do. This is the most current change, so I can either edit it or go back and compare those revisions. But you have, a complete history here of everything that's been changed, and you can easily revert to those changes or go back and compare those revisions again side by side. And then lastly, to resolve that most recent change that we made, you could go down here, you click resolve, that'll be put in the resolve category. Or if you have more changes, you can just go back to the topic, make further changes, and then send it back to the person. So a little internal routing system, again, to be used in whatever fashion is most helpful for you, and in combination with our commenting feature here on the side. And so that's kind of how you work your way through each section of Protocol Builder. We went through the non-numbered sections, the writing. I just gave you a little bit of the AI assistant because I don't want to go too far into that until we decide when and how it's going to be implemented. And then also we have a roadmap for even improving that even further. Which just briefly, right now it exists as an AI assistant. It's going to help you write each section of the protocol. But our roadmap for this year is to a combination of ideas where, perhaps you enter the synopsis information, maybe you upload some supporting documentation, and it's, going to use some inputs from you as a user, along with scanning publicly available information like clinicaltrials.gov, et cetera, and, help create a draft of the entire protocol for you. So that's a little bit of ways and an optional add-on for you users or for your administrators down the road, but just to give you a little taste of where we are with the AI assistant and where we're going. So let me just show you what the final output is going to look like. I'll pause there for a second, and then I'll just show you kind of the next step that your administrators are working on, which is the consent builder and the connectivity between protocol and consent builder. So once and I'm using dark mode here, so this is just my version of Word where we're looking at light text on a dark background instead of vice versa. But this is what, when you export or publish a document from Protocol Builder, this is what you're going to look at. Number one, you get the table of contents that's automatically created for you, incorporated to the navigation pane for Word for you, as well as the table of contents for Adobe. So this is automatically created for you here. And then, here, just looking at this, we're looking at our cover page here. Again, this was just filling out some fields. You'll have either a global or a template-specific confidentiality statement that'll be created by your administrators. Here you have your study personnel page. Again, this was killing two birds with one stone. When we filled that section out in Protocol Builder, we were deciding who has access to this protocol, as well as creating this personnel page for you. So again, this was just finding your collaborators from the drop-down menu and selecting their permissions, and there you go. The synopsis, and I have a track change versions here, obviously, so we're looking at some red strike-throughs and green highlights. But the synopsis, again, these sections can be, and I think mostly are for your templates, connected to their numbered brothers and sisters down in the actual protocol. So everything that's typed in for primary objective in the synopsis will be reflected in section 4.2 of the synopsis there. As we go down, the next section, okay, yeah, we're still in synopsis. Next section will be your abbreviations. Again, these can either be preloaded by administrators so that they already exist. You can add them one by one from the abbreviation screen, or as you're going through and you're writing, you can simply highlight your abbreviation or your glossary term, type out the full definition, and then save it. And then, as you add them, this is automatically generated for you. Then you'll have your table of contents. Again, this is automatically created for you, obviously. And a quick note here, as you use these non-applicable selectors wherever they may exist, if you choose a selection as not applicable, when you go to publish, Protocol Builder, is going to automatically rip that section out of the final output and automatically renumber it for you. So anytime you decide a section is not applicable, it'll come out of the final output and automatically be renumbered for you. Going down, we would have next, the body of the protocol. Obviously, everything is formatted for you with the same font, the same spacing. Headers are a little bigger and in bold for you, but no need for worry about formatting anything. That's obviously already automatically done for you. And then as we get to the end of the document, you'll have your references section. Again, this is created just by, after you populate your reference library, putting your cursor in Protocol Builder where you want to add a reference, selecting that reference, and it'll come out for you in either AMA style or APA style, automatically numbered in order of appearance for you. So no worry about, creating reference tables or formatting those. Again, anytime you added a table within Protocol Builder, it's going to recognize where that table was added and create a list of tables for you. Anytime you added a chart, which is again our word for like really a graphic file, the Protocol Builder is going to recognize that and point you to which section it was added to and create a table of charts for you. Anytime you added an appendix, Protocol Builder will recognize that and start numbering them for you and give you a link to a PDF download that includes all those appendices that you've uploaded as you've gone through the protocol writing process. And then lastly, you'll have the summary of changes. Again, this is optional. You can choose to include this in your protocol or not. I find it to be very helpful as a former administrator myself. But again, it'll go through, after you move from version 1 to version 2, version 2 to version 3, etc., and highlight everything that's been removed in red strike through and anything that's been added in green highlight for you. Again, great helpful tool for HRPP and IRB reviews and helping it move through that process expeditiously, I believe. So yeah, let me pause there. I took everyone through the writing process, the development process, showed you the output. Let me see if we have any questions, and I can talk a little bit, about Consent Builder.
Yeah, Mike, I think there were a few questions in the chat, if you wouldn't mind addressing a few of those.
Oh, sorry. I can't see those. Okay. Here we go.
One of the questions is, can importing references be demonstrated? Can it import directly from PubMed?
No, it has to be a download from PubMed as either an RIS or NBIB file or converted to one of those, and then it's an upload into Protocol Builder. So from PubMed or any other online library, you just need the file, and then it's uploaded right here. Are there going to be additional trainings, possibly up to your administrators? Is this all still need to fit into 3 pages? I feel like that's an IRB question. Possibly. I'm not sure if anyone is on the line from UofL to answer that one. But that's more of a UofL question. Is it possible for me to slow down? Yes, I did. I hope. Sorry about that. Can you export the summary of changes? Yes. Yeah. So as I showed, right, you can export it at the end of your document. Let me just re-show everyone here. Just by choosing this button. So if you have this unchecked, it won't be in your output. If you do have it checked, it will be in your output. But it's included at the end of your protocol. So it's not a standalone summary of changes, but it's the last piece of your protocol. And obviously, once it's exported into Word, if you want it into standalone, you can just copy it and into another Word document. Let's see. Will this sync with Iris, or we still have to manually upload ourselves? I will let UofL handle that question. But we do have the capability. Is this program available directly from the company or from UofL? Is it free for the investigators? Yes, it's free for all UofL investigators. Is that right, Rachel? I don't want to misspeak.
All UofL investigators, students, anybody who has UofL credentials. So including investigators who are community medical doctors who have sponsored accounts or gratis faculty accounts.
Yep. Is there a code list somewhere that details different colors in terms of editing, commenting? Yes. So when you're in your compare revisions here, well, in terms of what you're looking at as a completed version versus a draft version, you have green and yellow here to tell you those. But in terms of this, there's not a red is remove and green is add. Just, we kind of thought it was intuitive with Microsoft Word. So that's not defined anywhere, but, certainly could your administrators could add a little reminder or help tool in a certain section or at the outset. So yeah, that could be further defined. But as far as the compare revisions, yeah, green is a completed and yellow is a draft. Let's see. Is it only for IRB or for FDA approval also? So I don't know if UofL wants to comment on that. This, I believe, was created. The templates are being created for submission to the IRB. But really, any type of template could be created in here. Rachel, I'll let you speak on that.
Yeah, we do have templates specific for investigational drug and device. And we're trying to, the templates are, supposed to be compliant with whatever FDA would expect to see. So I would assume that you could use them for your FDA submission as well as your IRB submission.
So if we add an external collaborator from another university, is the tool still free for them? Yes, for that protocol. They won't be able to go in there and start making their own protocols. They'll just be able to work on that particular protocol with you. We can create a sponsored account for external collaborator. Oh, that was Chris's comment. Yes. So, any other questions about the protocol? I don't know how much you want me to go. How far along you guys, Rachel, with like the consent side of it? Do you want me to show a little bit of that, or maybe not yet?
I mean, Christy, we had the template uploaded, correct, from UofL? Is Christy on still?
I'm sorry, I did miss your question, Rachel. Could you repeat that?
Did we had them upload the UofL IRB consent template, correct?
Yes, we have the biomedical consent template in there for now.
Yes.
We had to work on it a little bit to get the signature lines and certain things aligned appropriately. And then we can put other templates in there.
Yep, and we still owe you an answer to the page numbers on that. So okay, just want to make sure. I'll just take people through that briefly. So here we're in consent builder now. So just to back up a second, to start a new consent form, it's the same deal. You'll have your protocols here, and then you'll have your consent templates here. You'll select the Christy and Rachel confirmed. You'll have the biomedical template in here as well. Again, we're looking at the standard, the stock protocol templates from ProtocolBuilder. You'll have your UofL informed consent template in here. You select it from the drop-down list, and then if we move over to our consent template, it looks exactly like ProtocolBuilder. So for ease of use, for familiarity, everything operates in pretty much the exact same fashion that I showed you in terms of your writing, your sample text, your guidance. Obviously, you're not going to have abbreviations, glossaries, references, and this type of information in your consent form. But the AI assistant will be there as well. You'll get a summary of changes for your consent form every time you publish a new version, so you can match those up, with the protocol. You have a section for your signature line here, again, which we're putting the final tweaks on and getting the page numbers correct. But everything operates in the exact same way that I just showed you with ProtocolBuilder. Again, for familiarity, ease of use, looks exactly the same, operates in the exact same fashion. It looks like we have another question. Okay, so it appears reference addition is cumbersome using the add new icon. I would agree. In reference manager software, adding a PMID populates the bibliography. Is this available somewhere in ProtocolBuilder as well? Just for clarification, I don't know what in reference manager software adding a PMID is. But again, just to reiterate, the way to build your reference library within ProtocolBuilder is to get an RIS or NBIB file from any online library, upload it here, and that's how that works in that fashion. And yeah, adding it one by one, I don't think any one of our users really choose to do this, unless they just have a quick reference that they need to add. But yeah, if you have a lot of references, obviously adding adding a file to upload here. And this is an additive library, and you can choose it globally or for your document as you're writing. Yes, no worries. Any other questions? Protocol builder, consent builder, publishing, outputs.
I got a
Yes.
question for Rachel. When we are ready to write the protocol IRB or FDA, where we get the link directly from you or directly from the company, how it will be accessible?
Oh, we have a single sign-on link that we're hoping to put on many of the websites at U of L, but you're always free to email me if you're unable to locate it, and I'm happy to share that with you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
And then it looks like we have a question for the IRB. Could someone from the IRB team please provide further guidance on how this is exactly used related to submissions? Prior guidance said 3 pages, but this looks like more than 3 pages. Are we required to use the consent builder? Is there a page limit?
Yeah, I can speak to some of those. So this is not a requirement, so you're not required to use this. The 3 pages recommendation, that's really on our social behavioral studies. So quick surveys, focus groups, the chairs do prefer to see a shorter protocol. If this is a bit longer, that's not going to be a problem. But again, using the template within Protocol Builder helps reduce some of the redundancy that sometimes is seen. But that 3 pages is really for those more straightforward, simple survey studies. So I don't see that having an impact here. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
And then, it just looks like you guys are sharing some links for everybody. Any other questions for me or the IRB, I guess? All right, hearing none. Hand raised.
All right, just a quick question. I saw that you can version control, and that looks like when you're actively working on your initial protocol. But I'm just thinking about, generally speaking, if you do your initial submission, you'd have a very clean copy that would be a version submitted to the IRB that usually with their system would be version 1. And then I'm just wondering if you can kind of clean up your versioning and protocol builder to remove previous draft versionings from the initial submission so that you can use it for version control with your IRB submissions.
I don't know if someone from the IRB wants to clarify on what the recommended process. I don't want to overspeak my bounds here with how you would like people to use the versioning system in terms of IRB submissions, but just once you publish a version, you're going to get, let me go to the dashboard. Right. So you're done. You publish a version, you're saying, and then the IRB has a number of comments. You go back, you change, you respond to the IRB comments, and then you publish another version. Then you'll be on version 2 here, and then maybe it's approved by the IRB, and then you have an amendment, and then, through your amendment, you'll be on version 3. So that's how the protocol builder versioning works. We do, and again, this is a discussion for your administrators with how exactly you want to do this, but I think we have the ability to do like subversioning within a version for. I think I'm getting at your question. Let me know if I'm not. I think that was Andrea.
You are.
Yeah,
yes, you're getting
okay.
into my question.
Yeah,
Subversioning would be really helpful. Yeah.
Right. So discussion about exactly how it's expected to be used. I understand your question, right? You want version 2 to be your first amendment and not your responses to the IRB, I feel like.
Something like that. Yeah, very similar to that.
Yeah. So that is definitely possible. Again, just we're all working through it together to figure out what's the best way to work it out, what the best submission process is.
Thank you.
And then someone else asked, Leslie asked about IRIS. I don't know if any of the administrators want to answer that one.
Leslie, could you repeat the question on IRIS? I can try to answer that.
Yeah,
basically, oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I was just wondering if is there like any option for it to be synced? Like, are we still, or so my understanding is that we use the IRB protocol builder to more feasibly build our IRB protocol just in a more streamlined fashion, but we still have to then download that, save it manually, then upload it to IRIS. There's not like an interface between the two systems. Like I can't just import to IRIS or anything like that.
That's correct. You
Okay.
would download from this system. One of the benefits I do see in using the protocol builder is when you create your version and then you go back in to edit it for an amendment or for IRB stipulations, is you just go back into the version and make your changes, and then it'll automatically create a track changes copy so that when you submit back to the IRB, you can attach that tracked copy. It makes that process of making updates a little bit more streamlined.
All right. Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll send it back to Rachel or Dr. Huang to close it out. But yeah, just to remind everybody, the help desk or Christopher is right here. All the tutorials are right here. Just give the help desk a call if you forget how to do something, or want to know the answer to a question as you're navigating it. They're very, very responsive. They'll call you back if they don't pick up the phone within the same hour. Same thing with emails. So very responsive.
Yeah, Dr. Huang had to run to another meeting, but
Okay.
if anybody has any questions going forward from the UofL side, please feel free to reach out to me or Rachel or Christy. We've all been working with Mike on this project, so we can route your questions and concerns, or if you have any feedback, just please reach out. And Mike, thank you for everything. This has been recorded, so we'll have it available for other people to view in the future.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a good
Thank
evening.
you, Mike.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, Rachel. Bye, Chris.
Bye.
Bye, Christy.